Here we have the 2014 question 5. This is paper 2, junior cert, ordinary level. And the question says, a class of 20 students took an online test. The time in seconds it took each student to complete the test is shown below. So I've written out what they've given us in the question, so we would have got this on our paper. So we're given loads of times in seconds. And then they say, represent this data on a stem and leaf diagram. So on a stem and leaf diagram, when I have 0, so in this column I have all the numbers that don't have, say, a 10 or a 20 or a 30. It's going to be 0. So I'll put in, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything up to 9. From here I'll put in my 10 all the way up to my 19. Here I'll put in my 20 all the way up to my 29, my 30 all the way up to 39, and 40 up to 49. So they've only given me columns from 0 to 4, 0 to 40. So I assume that I won't have any pieces of data that are 50 or above. So for 0, I'm going to put them in order from the lowest to the highest. I'm going to start at the lowest number. So the lowest number that doesn't have a 10s or 20s appears to be 8. So we have two values for 8 actually. So I'm going to put in 8 and then comma 8, and then we also have a 9. So I'm going to cross out each of the values as I go through them. And then for the 10s, the lowest value that I have is 12. So I'll stick that in and then I'll cross it out. And then the next one that I have is, I think it's 15. So I have 15, but I actually have 3 15s. So I'll put in 3 of them. And then the next one I have is 16. So put in a 6. And then I have 17, and then I have 18, which is here. So 18, and I also have a 19. So 19. And then on my next one, the lowest I have is a 20. So I'll put in a 0 here, and then that represents 2, will represent 20. And then 21, so I'll put in a 1 here, and then I have 22, so that goes in, and then 23, so will also go in, and 24 coming in again, and then 26, this will go in here, and then I have no other 20s. And then for my 30s, it will be 30, so and then 32. So from this one, and then I have one of my 40, so that'll be 49. And then they asked me to fill in the key. So 1 on this side for my stem part, and then 6 on, say, my leaf part will signify, say, will represent 16, the number 16. And that is our stem and leaf diagram done. So the next part it asks us to do is to find the range of the data. So the range is going to be the highest value minus the lowest value. So when I have my stem and leaf diagram all done in, all the values are arranged in order. The lowest value is 8, the highest value is 49. So if I want to get my range, I just have to do the highest value, which is 49. So it's the value kind of at the bottom of the stem and leaf diagram, and at the top I have my lower values, so minus 8. So my range of my data is going to be 41. So that is the range. So the range is going to be always the highest minus the lowest value. And then the next part it asks us to do is find the mode of the data. So the mode is going to be the value that occurs most often. Mode equals occurs most often. Sometimes, if none of that means the mode is going to have it been occurring more than once. If there's no number that occurs more than once, then there is no mode. So I can see that I have 2 8s. But then I have 3 15s. So I think 15 is going to be my mode. So the one that occurs most often is going to be 15. So my mode of my set of data is going to be 15, so that occurs most often. That is my value. And then we're asked to find the mean of the data. Give your answer correct. So here is my stem and leaf, so I'll just this is my data. So if I want to get the mean, I have to add up all the values, add up all values and then divide by the number of values. So if I want to get the mean, so it's going to be the first, so it's going to be 8 plus 8 plus 9 plus 12 plus 15 plus 15 all the way up to plus 49. So I'm just going to plug that into my calculator. So the first one is going to be 8, then plus 8 plus 9, so I've done my first row, then plus 12 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15, and then plus 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19, and then plus 20 plus 21 plus 22 plus 23 plus 24 plus 26, and then plus 30 plus 32, and then plus 49. So when I add up all my values all together, I get 399. So if I want to get my if I want to get the mean of my values, I have to divide this by the number of values. So I have to count, I think it said in the question, so a class of 20 students, so we can count and we can see that there's 20 values, but it does say in a class of 20 students, so there's going to be 20 values. So our mean is going to be 399 divided by 20, so we get a mean of 19.95. And it might have said, so it doesn't give your answer correct to the nearest second, so the mean is going to be correct to 20 seconds. So that's going to be the mean, so all the values divided by the number of values. And in part 5, we're told that Sean had a problem with his computer and it took him longer than the other students to complete the test. How long did take Sean to complete the test? Well, if we look at the student that took a significant amount of time longer than most of the other students, it's going to be this value 49, because the other students are all less than 32 and he is significantly higher at 49. So Sean, we would have said that he had taken him 49 seconds. So the teacher said that she would leave out Sean's time when she calculated the mean. Would you expect her answer to be bigger or smaller than the mean of the whole class? So if we're to include Sean's value in our mean, we're including that as one of our values. That's going to make the average higher. When we have a higher numbers involved, the average of them is going to be higher. But if we leave out Sean's value because he had a problem with his computer, so if we leave out Sean's value and we add up all the number of values, add up all the values, divide by the number of values. So if we leave out the higher value, we're going to get a smaller mean, because 49 is the largest number. So sometimes they call it an outlier. And if you wanted to get the mean again, well, the total number of values, if we're leaving out Sean's one, if we just leave out Sean, what he did, it'll be the sum of all the values, 399, minus his value, which is 49, but then divided by 19, because now we're only taking 19 students, so we're not taking Sean's. So 399, take 49 over 19, so then we get 18.42. So it didn't actually ask us to calculate the mean, it just asked, would you expect the mean to be smaller or bigger? And we would expect it to be smaller than the original mean. So that is our answer for that. Thank you.